This episode of LBM Talks Credit is sponsored by PWT. And at PWT, you get more than an engineered wood supplier. You get a true partner who's ready to support your success coast to coast. And that's something they're willing to shake on. Hey there, I'm Thea Dudley, also known as the Credit Overlord, and welcome to LBM Talks Credit. We are the only podcast that talks trade credit in the lumber and building material space. Never miss an episode, stay tuned, and we're glad you're here. Welcome to LBM Talks Credit. I'm Thea Dudley, your host, also known as the Credit Overlord, and today we're going to talk about ghosting, specifically getting ghosted. Now, as a credit professional, you already know what I'm talking about. These are the customers that never return your calls, texts, emails, smoke screen, whatever. They suddenly do not know you. They also were the customers that when you were considering opening their account or increasing their credit line, could not pay enough attention to you. They could not have been nicer, more accommodating. You call, text, email, they were spot on. They were emailing you back. Hey girl, what do you need? And then you fast forward about 30, 40 days and no money's coming in. And suddenly this fool doesn't know my phone number, doesn't know how to text, can't email, doesn't know anything. Suddenly I'm invisible. It doesn't even know me. It's like the start of a really great relationship. And then suddenly it's like, what happened? I thought we were getting along famously, and now suddenly I'm here with no money. Reach out to my salesman, Thea. He's been getting your messages. Seriously. He's gotten all of them. He's just so busy. He is so busy. Doesn't even hardly have time to do anything. He said he's going to get to you. He's going to call you. When? Will I be dead? Will I be retired? Will it be before the end of the year? Will it be before I run out of lien rights? When is this wonderful customer going to honor me with a return phone call? Text, email. You don't want to talk to me? That's cool. Text or email me. Every credit manager I know has this happen at least weekly. I'd like to say it's a yearly thing, but it is absolutely a weekly thing. There's always somebody making bad choices, because it's always a bad choice not to take a credit manager phone call. I don't care if you don't have anything good to tell me. At least talk to me, and then we can, as adults, decide what we're going to do with this account. Without you communicating, I have to make decisions without you. So if you're going to ghost me, I'm going to talk about some ways to, maybe haunt you back or set something up so that you didn't have the opportunity to pull this. Some of these are going to be obvious. Some of them maybe not as obvious, but should be. And some will be long shots and obscure, but always worth an opportunity to see. Who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky. On the super obvious side of things, we're talking about mechanics liens. Nothing gets someone's attention as fast as filing a lien on their project, because now the owner knows. I never get so fast a phone call from a GC as when that lien hits. They're super pleasant. They're so fun. Usually there's some yelling and screaming involved. At least you're talking to me. I can listen. If you're going to yell and scream at me, I'm going to go ahead and put you on hold until you can calm down. I've already filed the lien. You had a chance to talk to me and you blew me off. Now, I know in some states you've got to serve the preliminary lien notice, and you might be out of bounds on that. Hopefully on these accounts that maybe you had a gut check factor, or you're like, we'll go ahead and take a chance, but we're going to take a chance and use our lien rights. Those are the ones you're going to be able to, not that I advocate mean of spirit, but if you're going to leave me with little options, I'm going to go for it. There's also Little Miller Act and Miller Act. That's if you've done federal or state jobs. Usually this comes into play when it's some account that, bless their heart, they just were not big enough of a company to take on some of these large projects, and financially they just weren't able to handle it. Now they're using everybody else's money to do it. i.e. my companies, and we're funding it unwittingly. I did not ask to fund your project. This is a short-term loan. So if I can file on the bonds for Miller or Little Miller Act, absolutely going to get on board with that. Yeah, I like payments and performance bonds for GCs. They're going into a project. Usually it's not to stock their warehouse. Usually going into like, hey, do you have a payment and performance bond, for just because it's required or this job requires it, your license requires it? Let me get that info. Yeah, I'm going to go after that. I'm going to file that claim because your payment bond guarantees the GC is going to pay for labor and materials that they're obligated to. I'm going to go after that. Insurance companies, which are basically bonding companies, don't like that. They're like any other type of insurance. They don't want to pay you. And the GC's rates will go up if that claim goes through. So it gets their attention. Small claims court. I love small claims court. It is still the Wild West of all things. You can use it there. It's cheap. It's fast. You can get it served either in some states you can serve it yourself, and some states you can hire a process server or the sheriff will do it. Definitely worth the money. Gets their attention. Easy to dismiss if you need to. I would say don't dismiss your court date until you actually have gotten paid, because been there, done that, and it feels horrible. Plus, having to go back and refile and get them served again, it's just embarrassing and stupid. Just avoid it. Just avoid it where you can. But, it's low cost, fast, and it's all DIY. Civil court, much more expensive, much slower with the wheels. Make a friend of a construction law attorney and then get them to do, on the cheap, a well-placed demand letter from that attorney's office. That sometimes is enough to move somebody off the mark. If nothing else, it irritates them and they wonder what you're up to, and you get a phone call. Nobody cares if I send them a demand letter. It's like, oh, she's mad. She's giving me 10 days. Oh, okay, yeah, 10 days. That's just 10 more days that they know I'm not going to be bugging them. They're not going to hear from me. And then at the end of the 10 days, what am I going to do? Give them a sternly worded email or voicemail saying, now, come on, you need to pay me. Your 10 days are up. I'm going to do something. Yeah, just skip that drama altogether and just go straight to here's the outsourced demand letter. I just don't care. Now, some things that are not as obvious that could have avoided us getting ghosted are joint checks. You've got somebody that's on the spectrum. Let's joint check this. Now I've got a third party. I've got whoever is paying them, their customer. Now I've got that, tri-party relationship. I want to make sure I have access to whoever has the purse strings. Hey, dude's not paying me. Says, oh, I don't know what he says because he said nothing because he won't call me back. So is there a reason that I'm not getting paid? Did you cut a check and somebody forgot about me? What happened here? So I like joint checks. Trust fund statutes. They're state specific. I haven't seen them with a huge lot of teeth, but I do like that there are some hoops you can jump through and put a little more pressure on your customer, because that attached to the trust funds, they're supposed to be keeping things separate. You can send that letter out. It gets their attention mostly because nobody really understands them and they're not quite sure. So it's a little bit of using fear and ignorance to help collect or get someone's attention, or at least get a phone call. I'm okay with that. Plus, if they end up filing bankruptcy, it gives me a valid argument that it should be excluded from the estate because I went ahead and went after that. Then there's, the stalker method. I'm going to call you, text, or email daily. I want to make sure you remember that I'm still there. I'm going to get with my salesman and drive out to see you. I love going to a job site. I've got some really fun boots that I bought specifically for it. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to confront you on this. I've got my salesman with me. It's like, dude, I need you to call me. Call the owner, call anybody in that company that I think might be able to get me paid. And sometimes you're talking to the AP person and you're like, hey, well, what do I got to do to get paid here? and you find out some stuff about the company that you may or may not want to know, but depending on who you reach and how upset they are, or look, I have given him your message over and over. We can afford to pay you. He's just digging in like a tick on a dog because he doesn't like you. He doesn't like that you call all the time, whatever the case may be. But how do I rate with this customer? Do they need me? Will they need me again? And they always need you again. Absolutely always will need you again. They just sometimes forget that this is how they treated you, because the salesman and them are getting along great. The person who's collecting and granting the money, maybe we're not in such a great spot. And then there's your long shots. Am I able to, hey, you don't have a lot going on. Why don't you assign your accounts receivable to me? I know it's a long shot. It's happened a couple times for me, not always. And then, is there corporate officer liability? Can I pierce that corporate veil? Can I, get in direct contact? Did they sign a personal guarantee? What lever can I pull? Or can I at least throw it out there and make somebody a little bit uncomfortable? Where it's like, hey, this is what we're looking into. My point is you're trying to get them to pay attention to you. You're not doing anything illegal. You're not doing anything, that's sketchy. But we definitely are trying to raise that awareness that, look, you've got to, ghosting me is not going to get it. I think the number one method for avoiding ghosting and to get paid is the proactivity. The better off you can check somebody out, the more you can do, knowing your customer, the who, what, why, when, Google search them, check their Secretary of State, check your trade groups, check their credit report, all of those things. Are they willing to sign a PG? Are they willing to do a joint check? Do they care if you secure your lien rights? Anytime somebody throws up I don't want people to think I don't pay my bills. Well, if you pay your bill, a preliminary or statutory lien notice is not going to be a big deal. It's just normal course of business. And you can explain that. If you're someone that doesn't pay their bill, I can see why your eyebrows are, up on your forehead. When you are looking at getting ghosted, anything that you can do, that's legal. I don't mean going out on their Facebook page and calling them a deadbeat, or, going out and leaving a review that says, hey, they're great if they could only figure out how to work a phone in reverse and call me back. Those are not good things. You can get on their website though and just go, hey, and their contact issue, hey, this is Thea, love to talk to you. Please give me a holler. Keep it very, very light above board. Usually I don't get a phone call back, but it does show up. At least somebody in their office is reading it. They're like, who is this woman? Why does she want us to call her back? And sometimes they do. They end up inadvertently calling you back, and you have a conversation with someone who's following up on leads that, doesn't really care or want to know you. You want to at least know if you're getting ghosted, know who you're doing business with before you get ghosted. If it happens that you have to back into this, know your remedies and secure them and act quickly. Don't let these things linger out there. It goes back to that German philosophy. I'm not mad that you lied to me. I'm upset that now I can't believe you. It doesn't matter what the company is. They will come back around. They will forget that we had this ghosting issue, because to them it's a non-issue. They're like, what? I was super busy. I couldn't get to you. The project was out of control. It's like, I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I want you to be a grown-up and come to the table and talk to me if you're having problems, and let's get something situated. I can't carry you forever. I didn't give birth to you. I didn't marry you. What I need you to do is take care of your account like an adult. And the next time you come up and you say, hey, why is my order on hold? Well, you treated me like Casper the last time we were hanging together, and I'm not into it. I can't have more skin in the game than you do. If you have your favorite ghosting remedy or something that you've done that has gotten you paid when you thought, hey, all hope is lost, I'd love to hear about it. Please send it over to me at thea@creditoverlord.com. Happy to share it with the other listeners, or, pop it out there in a future column. And that wraps another edition of LBM Talks Credit. We come out every other week on Tuesday, and we are on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Be sure and hit the notifications button, subscribe, and never miss an episode. Until then, keep watching your AR.